Matt makes his way back to WWE with Jeff and everybody there. And as the broken universe turns into the woken universe and everything is brought into there, there's this feud that starts up with Bray Wyatt. Because why wouldn't it, right? Bray is amazing. And yet again, you get the ability to be able to play another entrance theme, Live in Fear, which in terms of just themes in general, nerding out for a second, that's one of my favorite themes of all time. And apparently it was either a library track. I'm pretty sure it was a library track from Mark Crosser. And I just think I'm like, man, there's so many iconic themes over time. But the fact that that one was like a library track, that they're like, oh, here, this is just perfect. It's just, it was such an awesome theme. And then for you to be able to transition it into a piano rendition, how does that come into play?
I couldn't believe it, honestly. I thought, my little moment at TNA was going to happen, and that was my 15 minutes in music wrestling, and that was it for me. I mean, honestly, produced by Billy Corgan, I'm like, I'm good. I could die happy tomorrow. But when WWE decided they wanted to kind of bring the whole broken universe, characters and all, Senor Benjamin, my dad,
Yeah.
the kids, me with the piano, I thought, wow, I cannot believe this. And that was so stressful because that's the first time I've ever had to record my music in a studio. I had to find a studio. Of course, everything is last minute, right? So I had 2 days that I had to write this again, write this composition, like do my rendition of Bray's thing, find a studio in the middle. We live in the middle of buttfuck nowhere, North Carolina. It's not like I'm in New York and I could just, book a studio. I called 5 different places. The place I even ended up, it was the craziest spot. Anyway, so get to the studio and I had to like record it on my own. I was so nervous. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. The producer there is so confused. Like he's like, it's too much pedal. It's too much, I'm like, I don't care. This is how I do it. Like, shut up. Like, I don't want your feedback. Like, it was like,
Hit the button, friend. Hit the
oh
record
yeah,
button.
my guy, just put the thing, makes it. But yeah, that was so cool. Get it over to them last minute, and we ended up shooting like in the forest, in the middle of the Hardy compound, on an electric piano. The track had already been done by then, so I think they had it kind of playing on a Bluetooth speaker in the background while we were filming it. But that was so cool, and it was really great to. I love that song. I loved his song. So it was cool that it was a song that I actually like. I love minor keys. I love slow and dramatic and emo and melodic. So it was really perfect for me. And looking back, it's like even I can't even listen to that song honestly now. Like Bray, what happened to him really fucked me up. Matt too for a while. I think I'm still fucked up over it, honestly. But it's just so crazy that I have that connection there, and he loved it, and it was so cool that he loved it, and it meant so much
I
to
was gonna
do.
say, I feel like Bray would probably have heard that song and was just over the moon with it because he was so about his character. And while I've never gotten the opportunity to meet him, unfortunately, so many people that are in my life have, and everybody, including yourself, have nothing but amazing things to say about him and being able to work with him. And it was just, even for me, when I go and perform on stage, many people may see that the pants that I have are totally the black version of his pants that had the birds coming up it. So for me,
Oh,
Bray was such a big part for me too. And I remember hearing that piano thing and just being like, man, you couldn't get a more perfect. Like if you told somebody, create a piano album of just wrestling themes. I think that was probably the most honest and the most real that you could have gotten, and the closest you could have gotten to the most perfect one. I think it was
thank
fantastic.
you. Oh my
Yeah.
God. That was actually my first time working with like an arrangement too, because I added synthetic violin, which I've never done. I'm always just like straight piano, or if I'm doing something, I'm just dicking around and no one's ever gonna hear it.
Yeah.
But that was cool. Like adding that, I was like, oh, it needs like a little bit more like depth, like richness, like drama. And I added the
Yeah.
synthetic violin there, and that was really cool. So thanks.
When you did that, and correct me if I'm wrong, did you have something already written out for it, or you were in the studio listening to it going, okay, cool, here's what I'm going to do with it?
That morning, literally, I just kind of had it in my head what I was going to do. And I had it in my head, I'm going to kind of have a backing track to add like a little bit of harmony and a little bit more depth with those violins that I like added in myself, mind you. Like I added that in post, like in iMovie or some shit, like mixed it myself. Yeah. So
So, ladies and gentlemen,
very
understand
last.
that that piano rendition of Live in Fear was basically done that day. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, it really was very, very, very stressful because I also just as a musician, not that I'm a career musician, but I'm thinking like this is my moment. Like this could be probably the biggest stage that my original music's ever going to be on. Like if I mess this, like it could go really great, and this could be the first thing on a resume of a great lucrative career. Maybe if I want to go down that path a little more seriously in the future, or this could be
Yeah.
my biggest flop, and then I'm a joke, and everyone, there's so many people to this day who are like, she wasn't really playing the piano, she was just pretending, and I'm like literally, what? You can hear me fuck up. Like, what do you mean? Like,
Oh my
what
gosh.
do you mean? So it's like as something that had been part of my life for pretty much my whole life before I was even consenting to wanting to be in music, it meant a lot to me personally, not just as a, oh, this is a cool moment and oh, cool wrestling and TV. It was kind of like it's sort of like everything in your life has led up to this. Like this is your moment here. Like don't fuck this up.